So more comfort level with the system, where you fit in it, all those types of things, and even when you were here in the spring?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, repetition just solidifies everything. So everything that we did in the spring, we did it multiple times over the summer, and we've done it multiple times over in camp. So yeah, I'd say I'm very comfortable with our system right now.
Your comfort level as a receiver. I mean, you've been noted as a very good blocker. Have you improved as a receiver, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've had a lot of balls through my way during camp, and I think I've made the most of my opportunities, and I've shown the coaches that I'm ready to play. So, yeah, I feel good where I'm at. And Coach Harrell, he's been working with me a lot, getting the ball through my way, and then just getting me more comfortable in live situations. So, yeah, I feel good with where I'm at, and in terms of having my game more balanced now than when it was last year. So, yeah, I'm feeling good.
You mentioned Coach Harrell. Is what his offensive scheme is entirely different than what you've done in the past? There's offense, and there were small changes.
I think there's only small changes throughout college football. I mean, this is the fourth offense that I played in my career. And yeah, I mean, it's really minute details between coordinators, but yeah, I mean, there's certain things that you'll see in our offense that are unique to our team, and yeah, I'm just excited to get out there. And yeah, I mean, I know Coach Harrell has kind of dubbed us as an area offense, but I do know that our coaches want to run the football too, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, I mean, I think you'll see a nice balance in our offense this fall.
Some of the challenges of going up against this defense. It looks like they've got a pretty active group of guys on defense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their D line is definitely the strength of their team, I would say. Yeah, I mean, all across the board, I think they have at least 5 guys in their D line. They're tall, they're big, strong, fast. They attack the quarterback, and they can stop the run. They're physical. They play hard. So, I mean, what's not to like about them? You know?
Pretty much covers it right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good challenge, and I mean, Pitt was good last year. I think they're going to be darn near as close to where they were last year, this year. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think the D-line is going to be the strength of their team, and it's going to present a challenge for me personally and for us as an offense to protect the quarterback. So,
are you getting some of that with West Virginia's defensive line? Are you getting some of that every day?
Yeah, I mean, with Dante and Taj, Bartlett, all those guys, I mean, they're pretty similar. I mean, Dante is, what, like 285, so that's pretty much what I'm going to see from Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's tough to move him in the run game, and then he gets after you in the pass game. So,
as a tight end, what's your self-image of yourself?
like my self-image as in who I would compare myself to, or just how I see myself?
No, how you envision yourself, and compare it to how you envision yourself as a person rather than as a football player.
That's a tough question. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I guess I'm the type of player, I try to play every play as if it were my last play. I don't know if that's corny, but whoever I go against, I just go after them as if it's the same person every time, you know, because if you take a play off and you let your opponent get a step on you, then I mean, you just put yourself at a disadvantage right there. So I think it would be disrespectful to your opponent as well to take a play off. That's how I approach it. But yeah, I see myself as someone who's tough, physical. I like to play fast, and I like to know what I'm doing. That helps. And yeah, I mean, as a person, I don't know. I'd say I'm very empathetic, and that's how I am as a teammate. I can understand where guys are coming from, especially the new guys on our team. I know what it's like to have to move and, you know, be the new guy on the team. So I try to learn everyone's name and just learn something about them the first time that I meet them, and then just kind of go from there. And like when you get into a game, I mean, things happen. Like guys go down, and it might be the next guy up, and sometimes it might be someone who just got there. So I think you can build a greater comfort level with your teammates if you know a little something about them and you know their name. It's always a big step. So
Do you remember anything about Pitt when you were with Miami at all, or?
yeah, so the first time I played Pitt was in 2017. When I was at Miami, we were 10-0, and we had one game get canceled, but this is our last game of the season. And then, yeah, that was our first loss of the year that year. And I just remember Pitt just getting after us the whole game. And it's kind of the same thing back then. Like, they had good size on their defensive line, and they were big and fast and physical. And yeah, I just remember it being kind of weird playing Pittsburgh because, you know, it was like, I think it was in November, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's always stood out about them is they've always had good defensive linemen and a solid defense and then a capable offense. So yeah, ever since then, I haven't really liked Pitt very much, but I respect them for sure. So
Is there any lessons that you've been able to teach some of the other guys about playing them? Because obviously, you know, they haven't played them before. I mean, obviously this team's probably a lot better than any of the Pitt teams you faced, but still, you know, same concept, same coaching staff that they have over there and everything.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of guys don't know that I played them before, but the guys that do, they've kind of asked what it's like to play up in Pittsburgh at the NFL stadium, and I'd say they've asked more about that environment than actually playing Pitt, because I mean, for us, it's not another game, but for a lot of guys on our team, it's going to be their first college game. So I've just tried to relay what that's going to be like, and just to kind of go in there with a cool head, and then just do your job.
Rashad Ajay obviously played with you at Colorado State. You guys know each other well. Did he call you when he was thinking of transferring here? And have you guys sort of bonded a little bit here, reflected on your time out there?
Yeah, I'd say I know him better now than I did in Colorado. I found out that it was a possibility of him coming here from the coaching staff. It wasn't directly from him. But yeah, I reached out to him, and then I kind of told him what we had going on here, and that I think it would be a good fit for him. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, we see each other in the locker room. I mean, it's kind of hard, like tight ends and corners don't really mingle per se, but no, I really like him, and I think he's gonna do some good things this year for our team. So yeah, I'm definitely happy that he's here. It's nice to have a more familiar face around.
I know you don't make the schedule, but as a player, do you like jumping right into a big rivalry game, or would you prefer to put your toe in the water and get? I mean, you're jumping right into the deep end right here, right off the bat.
I'd rather just jump right in, because I feel like if you're just waiting for that big game, it's easy to look ahead and maybe look past someone. But if you get those big games out of the way early, you can kind of see where you're really at. It's a good test. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I'd rather just play Pitt first game and have a lot of fun doing it, and then see what happens.
I gotta ask you now, what was the biggest rival for Colorado State? Was it Colorado, was it Miami, was it Air Force?
It was Wyoming.
Really?
Yeah.
So then not the in-state with CU, huh?
I mean, we didn't play CU every year, but
Okay.
we played Wyoming every year because Wyoming was in the Mountain West.
Okay, so
So-
conference game.
Yes, sir. Because CU, I believe my head coach, Coach Adazio, he tried to put them on our schedule the 2 years I was there, but then for whatever reason, we didn't play them.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Wyoming was the trophy game. So,
And was it something they hyped it up? Did they approach it kind of the same way that this staff's doing with the Pitt game? Did they
I'd
build it
say
up?
They built it up for sure, but I'd say this game is a lot bigger than that game. So that does mean a lot to the state of Colorado, but like Colorado State isn't the biggest school in Colorado, CU is. So yeah, the WVU big game is definitely bigger.
Ryan, you said waiting to play the big game could be difficult. That big game in 2017 would have been finished undefeated. That's pretty cool, right? What do you remember about just what was hanging over that game, and how big that 12-0 kind of thing was for you guys?
Well, I know at the time, I believe we were like number 2 in the country, and I remember our coaches telling us all week, don't look past this game because it's a trap game. Like, Pitt's good, but when I was at Miami, we were good too. And they told us all week, don't look past it. And I think it was a combination of that, and then we had a couple critical injuries going into the second half that led to us losing that game. But yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to lose a game ever, but we still had a good year. But yeah, that one definitely hurt.
That one bothers you now, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we had a couple close games that year. I know at Florida State, there was one we won in the last like 15 seconds, and then Georgia Tech came down to Miami, and then we beat them in the last couple minutes. So yeah, it's tough to win in college. It comes down to the last play all the
You
time.
guys played what, Clemson, the ACC title game?
We did.
Yeah,
Yes.
that kind of got away from you a little bit. They had something to do with the week before. They were good, I understand, but so were you.
Yeah, they were good. That's when Kelly Bryant was a quarterback, and again, we had some critical injuries. Like Chris Herndon was hurt, our tight end, and then our best receiver was hurt. Mark Walton, our running back, was hurt. So it was just tough to get anything going offensively in that game.
In hindsight, do you think the coaches mentioning trap game was the trap?
I don't think so.
No?
I think they were just trying to make us aware of what was going on. Because it was one of those kickoffs where it's like early afternoon in Pittsburgh. It's kind of, it's like drizzly outside, overcast. Yeah, we were all looking ahead for sure. So
Yeah.
I think you just need to be where your feet are and play hard.
You learn any lessons from that?
Oh, absolutely. It's always respect your opponent, and then just focus on where you are right now.
Your position, I think a lot of people think you have fun catching passes, right?
Yeah.
But the different ways that deploy you as a blocker, and sometimes you gotta go block a guy in space, sometimes it's not there, dodge the line. I'm not sure it's new for you, but there's probably more skill involved in that than people realize too. You talk about this, the variation of positions and attacks and the opponents, and like what skill you have to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the play type, it all depends. That depends on who you're blocking, right? So, inside zone, power type run game, typically you're blocking someone in the box, so defensive lineman, linebacker. Any outside screen passes or screen away from you, typically you have to block a defensive back or a safety. So, in blocks like that, that's actually more difficult for me because in the past I've typically blocked people in the box, but in space, you have to take a good angle of departure and then really tempo your block. Because my coaches told me the longer that you block someone in space for, like the earlier you get there, like the longer you have to block them for. So that's definitely been a key learning point for me. And then, yeah, it's just different. Because then in the box, it's you're hitting them right away, and then the back can make a cut off of you, and you don't have to hold your block for 5 or 6 seconds. So it definitely gave me a lot more perspective and respect for our wide receivers and our skill players in offense who have to make blocks in space, because those are what can turn like a 5 or 10 yard run into a touchdown. So
In the whole recruiting process, you can talk to the quarterback like the offensive play, and the receiver's gonna run all these routes and kind of stuff. And every position is like a calling card. I think if you're recruiting, they play about, hey, you can run all these different blocks when they're trying to get you to come here.
yeah, I mean, when they were recruiting me, we would look over like Zoom, and they would show me some examples of types of run plays that they would want to call. And I mean, it's all stuff that I've done before, so I feel very confident and comfortable doing my job.